Welcome to the Assembly Workflow Level 1 instructional video. To understand the current assembly workflow, we need to clarify some concepts. MasterCAD is the file where all the parts and modules are merged and assembled together. Object, every single element shown in the tree view. There are different object types created in different workbenches, like part objects, drawings, meshes, annotations. Keep in mind that part objects can be combined in infinite ways, and they often have a particular hierarchy and dependency relations. Part, the smaller useful unit that will be imported to the MasterCAD. It is usually composed of visible and hidden objects. It is often identified because it represents a component that can be purchased or fabricated. Module, a combination of parts that compose a subsystem and can be assembled separately. And the single parts that compose a module remain separable, unless we don't want it. For example, when assembling the power cube in other machines, like the tractor, it will be merged as a single object, not as a separable module. Editable CAD file, it means that we can open the file and change its features, like length, width, height, placement, holes, size, and position. Features can be changed in the Properties window and also by editing underlying sketches. Positional assembly. All that matters is the position of the assembled parts or modules. We can initially use constraints, but they should be deleted once they are not needed. Placement button. It is a feature available in the property panel that activates when movable objects are selected. It allows to move one or more objects by using coordinates and rotation angles. It is important since we are doing a positional assembly, and by using the placement button, we can easily move parts and modules to the wanted position in the assembly. Question 1. How to move parts or modules using the placement button in the property panel? 1. Download and open a file, like the Lyman Filament Winder MasterCAD. 2. Select the part to move. If you want to move a module, select each part of the module. Do not select folders. 3. Go to Property Panel, click on the Placement button, the one with 3 dots. Sometimes the Placement button is not available. This can be solved by deleting the underlying objects, or converting the shape to solid in Part Workbench. In very rare cases, the part should be redone. 4. Mark the option Apply incremental changes to object placement. It allows to click on Apply and save the new placement, returning the changed values to 0, so you can add more changes. 5. Change the translation and rotation values to move and rotate the selected objects. Use the center values to change the rotation axis. 6. Click on Apply and add more changes if needed. 7. Once you get the wanted placement, click on Apply and OK. Question 2. How to assemble single parts to compose a module? 1. Download one or more parts from the parts library. 2. Open FreeCAD and create a new empty document. 3. Merge one part and delete all the hidden objects needed to build the part, like sketches, constraints, pockets, cuts, etc. If you still have more than one visible object for the part, go to Part Workbench, select the part objects and make compound. Then expand the compound object and delete the hidden objects. The goal here is to bring the merged part to its minimum expression, leaving one single object in the tree view. 4. Make sure the placement button in the property panel is available for the merged part. If it is not, go to question 1 to see how to fix it. 5. Repeat 3 to 4 to merge more parts. 6. Go to Assembly 2 Workbench and start assembling parts using the needed constraints. See FreeCAD 101 Tutorial 2. Remember, you can always use the placement button to move the parts to the proper assembly position. 7. Keep working this way until the module is completely assembled. If the module has many parts and you start getting constraints conflicts, you can delete some constraints to be able to assemble more parts. 8. Once the module is completely assembled, delete all the constraints. 9. Save and upload the module to the wiki. 10. To assemble more parts after deleting all the constraints, download the module and the parts to assemble from the parts library. 11. Open the module and verify that it satisfies these 3 conditions. One object per part, no constraints, and the whole module can be moved by using the placement button in the property panel. If something's wrong, see steps 3 and 4 and try to fix it. 12. Go to Part Workbench, select all the assembled parts and make compound. To select faster, pick the first element and press the Shift key while selecting the last one. You can add or remove single elements from the selection by pressing the Ctrl key while selecting. Do not select folders. 13. Merge more parts. See steps 3 to 5. 14. Save the file so you can go back to this point if something's wrong later. 15. Assemble merged parts. See steps 6 to 7. 16. Important. Make sure the compound assembly does not move while constraining or assembling new parts. To do this, when constraining, select firstly the plane or circular edge of the compound assembly and secondly the part's face or edge. Do not move the compound assembly with the placement button either. If it is moved during the assembly process, the single parts will return to their original position once the compound object is deleted. 17. Delete the compound assembly so the single parts are visible again. Delete all the constraints. 18. Verify the assembly is OK. If it is not, open the file saved at step 14 and repeat steps 15 to 17. 19. Save and upload the file to the wiki. 20. To start a master CAD for the current project, download one or more modules or parts from the parts library. 21. Open any module. If there are only parts, follow steps 2 to 9 and start the master CAD as if it were a module. 22. Verify it satisfies these three conditions: one object per part, no constraints, and the whole module can be moved by using the placement button in the property panel. If something's wrong, see steps 3 to 4 and try to fix it. 23. Create a new folder. Rename it to the module name. Drag and drop the module parts into it. 24. Merge more modules if needed and repeat steps 22 to 23. 25. Merge more parts if needed. See steps 3 to 5. 26. Save the file so you can go back to this point if something's wrong later. 27. Assemble parts by following steps 6 to 7 and assemble modules by using the placement button. See question 1. 28. Save and upload the master CAD to the wiki.